Hi, how's it going? I am Jeffrey from AllVoices, and we're here to do people first. And I already flubbed up the introduction, but it's out of excitement. We have an excellent guest today, Emily from Zapier. So Emily is the AI automation engineer for Zapier. She works specifically with HR teams and with HR functions. I want to hear so much about your role and about you and what you're doing. But before we get into all the good stuff, give a little bit of an intro to yourself, Zapier, and what you all are up to nowadays.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Sorry for jumping on your intro. I got excited and thought you were greeting me. I am Emily Mabie, and my pronouns are she, her. I do work at Zapier. And as of, I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I'm our first AI automation engineer. Like you said, I get to be working right within our people or our HR team. Prior to that, for the last 3 years at Zapier, I've been on L&D. I've been a learning designer. My main focus has been manager enablement. So there's a ton of overlap in the types of problems I get to attend to and solve. And Zapier is in a very exciting time right now, too. I want to shout out if anybody is listening in and it is not yet the end of September. We have Zap Connect coming up, which is our user conference, and it's such a huge moment for us. I know it's been all over social media, but that is a place to learn all about the cutting edge, new and exciting stuff happening at Zapier and all the cool new features that are dropping. So if you're bored, if you're curious, Google Zap Connect to find out more.
Heck yeah. And if I remember, and I had a chat with Bonnie, the recruiting leader over there, we had discussed, and this is where I'm going to nerd out. Is LeVar Burton going to be there?
He is. He's our keynote speaker this year.
Well, as excited as I am for the whole entire experience, I'm gonna be extra excited for that one. Obviously, grew up on Rainbow, Star Trek, kind of aging myself as a like elder millennial Gen X kind of like hybrid there. But yeah, that's like right up my alley. And also love all things Zapier. We use it for just about everything over here on the marketing end. So keep on doing what you're doing. I'm gonna actually make sure I'll queue up something on LinkedIn to give you all some love and share I think it's like a little press ticket type deal that you all give to everyone. I'll share all that stuff. I'm like really
Yay.
in for it. So
That's
well, go ahead.
Oh, that's excellent. Yes, my unhinged cheer since learning about LeVar Burton has been like, go to Zap Connect, come for the reading and stay for the rainbow. And I refuse to explain anything else about that.
Hell yeah. All right. So geez, my throat's acting up. Hello. Yeah, I should probably have warmed up with some tea just like you, but yeah, so today I want to talk about what it means, like your role. This is fairly new. You're obviously coming in from L&D and you drop a lot of content around like kind of teaching like how these automations work. So I want to kind of speak a little bit to that. Like this is a new concept for a lot of HR teams. Can you walk us through what your role looks like day to day and what you're doing to benefit HR teams?
Yeah, totally. So my role is very new. It's only a few weeks old, but already it's become very clear that this role is a blend of both being a builder and an educator, which are two of my strengths. So I'm feeling really fortunate there. Largely, I've been working with Zapier's people team to automate real HR workflows. So things like onboarding and performance calibration and feedback tracking. But at the same time, I also work externally with HR customers to learn things about their pain points and then help them scope and build their own automation solutions using Zapier and AI. So day to day, I might be helping like a program owner redesign a workflow and then running a working session with one of our customers to unblock an automation around recruiting or publishing a reusable solution called a template that our go to market teams can bring into conversations with HR customers. But no matter which of those tasks I'm doing, the connective tissue is pretty much always the same, which is I'm helping HR teams go from a feeling of like, oh my goodness, this is overwhelming, to a feeling of, oh my goodness, this is working. And not just by plugging in tools, but really by designing systems that orchestrate tedium, which we know, unfortunately, is historically a large part of HR work, so that humans can do the more meaningful human parts of HR work.
Amazing. And yeah, if I remember correctly, you also host these like little workshops where you kind of review like how Zapier can help out with a lot of these things. Do you want to just like give yourself, first of all, I'm giving you the flowers, but do you want to give yourself a little bit of praise and say you're doing a good job there? I mean, I feel like you are.
Love doing the workshops. It's been so rewarding. My favorite thing, and for anybody listening who hasn't joined us, first of all, they're free and I very much invite you to attend. My favorite thing about them is it's only an hour, and we can all, most of us, can do hard things for an hour. It's an hour where you're going to stretch yourself, learn something new, but by the time you're done, you will have not only built an AI agent, an autonomous agentic AI tool, but you'll also understand it, right? So much of what we see out there these days in like, unfortunately, tech bro tutorials are things you're going to blindly follow. And then when you're done, there's no way you could explain them to someone else. But we really take the time and we're intentional of when we're building to make the context relevant for the audience, like an HR agentic workshop or RevOps or whatever your branch is. And we take the time to walk through it at a pace where you can deeply understand it. Now, that was really self congratulatory. So I want to say the fact that Zapier's agents are so easy to work with allows me to do that. But I highly recommend people join.
Yeah. And we'll leave some in the comments. I don't know how YouTube works. I'm pretty sure we could have like a suggested video. I do all the editing as well, so I'll figure out a way to like link out to that and make it look kind of cool, right?
Nice.
So yeah, for HR leaders listening, maybe AI can feel a little abstract or just novel. Just maybe it's a whole new thing for them. So, what are some practical ways you're seeing AI support people teams right now? And maybe you could speak on like how Zapier is kind of helping and assisting with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I will answer that. And first, I want to say something that feels so important to me. So I try to say it anytime I have a microphone, which is my firm belief, and Zapier's as well, is that AI should support but not replace human first AR. It augments us. And so through my work and my role, and through what you're seeing from Zapier, we are trying to define the boundaries of what AI can do, but also what it should do. So, for example, one of the builds that I've shared with people before is that AI can flag a pattern of data that lets us know there might be an attrition risk. But AI should never be making a firing decision. That's human work. So, full stop, we want to make sure that we're drawing a line in the sand. And for anybody listening who works in tech, in HR, in any role where AI is touching your work, I really want to encourage you to seek that out for yourself. Make sure you're clear on what AI will do and what it should never do, and communicate it transparently to other people. Now, all that being said, let's actually answer your question. Practical ways that we're seeing AI support people teams by augmenting them, not replacing them. And let's get past just chatbots, because chatbots are like so common. One chatbot that somebody goes to on a website and it gives them an answer. One of the most powerful things that AI can give us is by having somebody focus on AI automation, you can scale the impact of a person, right? This is augmentation of what one person could otherwise do. So there are a lot of workflows we've built at Zapier that save time, not for one person, not one person visiting a chatbot on a website and asking it how to get to the help desk, but for hundreds of employees, not by doing work harder, but by designing systems that work smarter on our behalf. So I'll give you an example. And actually, let's actually use chatbots as an example here. Instead of building one chatbot that one person goes and talks to, and that saves time for one person, we have at Zapier a suite of 56 performance chatbots. I built every single one of them, and each one is tailored to a specific role family at Zapier. So let's say you're in marketing. There is a chatbot. Its knowledge base is the job competencies for marketing, and that's its knowledge source. It has our competency frameworks and level guidance and examples of really effective feedback so that when it's your time to write your performance review, that chatbot can help you write a clearer and more thoughtful review if you're in marketing. But there's another chatbot on the same web page for somebody in sales, and there's another one for people in L&D. It can get so specific, it can help coach individuals at such a level that it lightens the load. It reduces the time it takes you to tailor your long form notes to our performance review format. But it also does things like, because it helps aggregate from all of your data and evidence across, 6 months, it helps reduce recency bias by helping converse with you and coach you about like where you've had the most impact, and how for humans we often think about the last thing we did, but that might not be what you want to highlight in your performance review. And the other thing that's really helpful about it, we've designed some for individuals and we've designed mirrored ones for people managers to help them give more effective feedback, performance feedback, and aggregation in their performance reviews. And so it helps us maintain consistency to know that people are having similar conversation styles around their performance, no matter what team they're on. So that's just one very small example of a way that we're using AI at Zapier. One other one that I'll share with you is uh, more of a suite of tools that I'll orchestrate one experience, which is at Zapier, like at most companies, we want people to set effective performance goals. There's so much research out there that goal setting is one of the most effective ways to increase the impact of our employees. And writing down what you intend to do makes it more likely you'll actually execute it. But setting goals is hard. It's not something we naturally do very well as humans. And it often happens in sort of a black box where we can't get a lot of insight into what people are struggling with goal setting and how it's going to impact the company. So at Zapier, we made an entire system that supports this. We do have a chatbot that's your first point of contact. You can use that chatbot. It will help coach you through Zapier's particular format for goal setting. But when you're done, the conversation data gets stored in a table along with all other 800 conversations it's having during goal setting. That table is then used to inform our HR team around things like what are people struggling with? Perhaps out of those 800 conversations, 200 people all really struggled to make their goals measurable, to assign a metric. That's really helpful data for us to have to better enable our teams. We use an agent, an AI agent, to filter through all of those conversations and learn other things, like where are people quitting the chatbot prematurely. That gives us user feedback. And then we have an automation setup that unites the chatbot and the table together so those conversations don't get lost. That's a Zap. So we have all of these different tools all tied together to support one very, very simple function, which is goal setting. The end user, it's about 5 minutes of their day to have the conversation. So one person puts in the work to automate, and hundreds of other people benefit by having their load lightened.
Yeah. I want to just take one step back and say, like, just the very simple use cases of Zapier are so valuable for just any type of professional. I mean, I was an early adopter, what, like 10, 12 years ago, when y'all first like started coming out, came out, and it was like, oh my goodness, this is gonna lighten the load so much. And the way you all have evolved and started embracing AI, and just the fact that you could go into Zapier and say, "Hey, I need to connect all these things. I want to filter all this stuff out in a chatbot," and have everything just kind of organized and optimized, where you just really need to publish a test and just make sure everything's working optimally. I feel like a lot of the advancements that you all have made recently has really put you on top. It's kind of like a you already had the throne, but like it's already like you're there. Also wanted to just throw out the fact that, like, we've done, what, 2 presentations with Zapier already, with Brandon, Bonnie, and you all are really pushing the conversation, for, like, AI and HR like, so ahead and doing it better than probably any other company, in my opinion. What was this massive pivot? And I know this isn't in our notes or we didn't discuss it, but what really led to this massive pivot saying like, hey, there are some gaps here that HR, might be missing. Like, are there systems? And I'm sure a lot of practitioners can test this. are the systems so spread out that we need to kind of put ourselves out there as a company that's going to tie everything together and help all these things run a little bit more efficiently?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's been true for as long as we've had the technology to store people data that we've always had systems that unfortunately don't really talk to each other very effectively. And at the heart of Zapier's inception, what it was born to do, right? It was first developed as just a system to have apps talk to each other. Our first product was Zaps, which most people know as like the workflow. When something happens, then something happens, then something happens. And HR spaces are so ripe for that level of automation. But we are in this transformative moment now where AI is touching everything. Zapier, as you said, early adopter, Zapier has AI embedded in its products in a way now where it's so easy to allow AI access to very specific parts of your workflow or your entire workflow. If you want to go from like putting an AI step in a deterministic Zap or having an agent figure out all the details, sort it out, and execute for you. And so we're seeing this moment right now where HR, which has historically been faced with this burden of systems that don't talk to each other well, introducing a ton of manual work for people, is HR is ready for new tools. And we're meeting this moment by having AI sort of ready for the taking. I also think that something that's relevant to our context is that Zapier itself, just a few years ago, we had a big moment that a lot of people have heard about. It was called our Code Red, where our CEO sort of gave everyone the mandate that for the hundreds of people who work at Zapier, uh, there was an expectation that we ourselves would become more empowered users of AI. And so our own people team became much more fluent and much more experimental with AI, which then allowed every single one of us to see all of the people in roles just like ours at other companies that were struggling with the incredible level of manual work. And that allowed us to make connections, reach out to people, discover these opportunities to help. And that led to an entire branch of work where now we are supporting so many external companies to improve their HR processes.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, you all have 97% AI fluency now within your employees, right? 700-ish employees. I know way too much about Zapier, by the way. I'm gushing mostly as I'm kind of a fanboy. I'm excited for all these things. Ask Emily or anyone over here at All Voices. I'm like a huge fan, so I know all this stuff. But yeah, 97% is pretty like that might be the most out of any non-AI company, right?
Yeah, it is an incredible level. When we measured it last, I believe we were at 89%. And so to see it jump in our most recent pulse survey to 97% is both incredible and at the same time not surprising to me, given how deep our AI fluency at Zapier is and how spread out our incredible funds of knowledge are. So great stuff to see. Good memory too.
Yeah. Oh my God. I've just been, like I said, I really meant it. I'm a fan. Okay. So now let's talk a little bit about the future of HR and AI, right? Do you see that, there's reports of different companies potentially like having HR merge with IT and become these like people slash data type of roles. Do you see roles like yours eventually kind of becoming the norm and folks having maybe like a prompt engineer or an HR prompt engineer within their company? Do you see that kind of like taking off?
Yeah, I think this is becoming more common. I think we're going to continue to see it. I think at the same time that almost every HR team already has someone who's ready for this role, somebody who's naturally curious about AI, naturally very experimental, and I think that orgs that succeed will be the ones that make space for that person to not only explore, but to lead. So whether they call it an AI automation engineer or call it something else, the function is going to be essential. Somebody who knows the HR systems, somebody who understands the fundamental people department problems, and then they can build thoughtful and ethical automation that actually gets adopted because it's built by somebody who knows.
Oh my goodness. Emily, thank you so much for your time. I'm not a lot of questions. I am going to continue following your work and obviously continue using Zapier. I look forward to Zap Connect. Do you want to leave us with anything? Maybe a quote, something cool, man? I don't know. I just want to open the floor and let you have the last word.
Yeah, okay, here's my parting thought. My North Star with this new role is making sure AI doesn't erode trust. It's used to enhance trust. And I think that in HR, we're best primed for this, right? We should not be building AI for novelty. We should be building it for dignity and efficiency and space for human connection. And when we do that right, it doesn't just make the work faster, it also makes the work better. And that's all.
And Emily, I look forward to continuing viewing all of your stuff on social media, on YouTube, wherever you live. We'll put all the links to that in the description below. We can't thank you enough for joining us.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I loved your thoughtful questions.
Take it easy.